Hello, everybody. My name is Sam Taylor, and I'm joined this evening, with Robert Bruce. Myself, I am a session leader, online facilitator, and advise on policy-related matters for the CPAWSB School of Business.
And I'm an online facilitator as well as session leader.
Today, Rob and I are going to be talking to you about plagiarism, specifically frequently asked questions or instances where candidates have encountered either on purpose or accidentally items which resulted in plagiarism charges.
So Sam, my next question is, how is it different when I'm writing an exam versus my weekly assignments?
Well, first of all, when you're writing your exam, you are meant to start from zero, scratch. There's no templates. There's no, list of resources. You need to start with a blank Excel and a blank Word doc when we're talking about at-home virtual exams. And then when we talk about resources that you can utilize, it's only the Income Tax Act and the CPA handbook. So you don't even talk about the ebook or any other templates or resources or notes from your module. Okay, so now that you have only your Income Tax Act and your handbook, keep in mind, oftentimes candidates write their exams and they don't reference that resource at all. Why? Because it's a time-constrained environment. So every time you spend, looking up the standard or, searching through, that takes time away from your writing. That takes time away from your planning. That takes time away from your reading the case. Rather, if you have, enough of the idea of each of the parts of the Income Tax Act and each of the parts of the handbook, then what you can do is just paraphrase from your memory. You can know the key terms, you can know the key criteria, and you can just note those down, apply case facts, say met or not met, say per IFRS or per ASB or per ITA, and just get on with it. Whereas oftentimes what candidates do, which isn't to their advantage, is they spend a lot of time going through and finding the exact right standard. And then they copy, paste it, and they do so appropriately. So they might say per ITA, 15, and they put in quotes so that you really understand where it's coming from. But then they don't apply the case facts. They don't say met or not met. Or maybe they just say, here's the standard, here it's met. You haven't shown your analysis. You haven't demonstrated competency. So it's funny because what candidates can do, and are oftentimes really successful in an exam by doing this, is actually not opening up the Income Tax Act or not opening up the handbook, saving themselves some time, saving themselves the risk of, an insufficient analysis, and saving the risk from accidentally plagiarizing. Rob, do you have anything to add for that?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, can I take my assignments that I've already done and use those as a template for my exam? Is that possible?
That is not possible. You are not allowed to use any resource outside of the Income Tax Act or the handbook. You cannot start with any templates. You cannot refer to any templates. It really has to be your own thoughts as originated during that exam. And here's the other thing. No two exams are the same. No two cases are the same. So what you see in your exam will vary slightly or significantly from what you've seen in a previous week. To you, it may look very similar. It may look like, oh, I just did this. I can copy paste this. I can use this template. But when the plagiarism software, when the CPA exam markers, when CPAWSB looks at your exam, they can actually see the connections. And that's when candidates are investigated. And that's where they're found guilty of plagiarism. So be safe. Open up a brand new Word document, open up a brand new Excel, and either plan to use only the CPA handbook and Income Tax Act, or plan to use none of it because you are well studied and well prepared. And if you put in the work, you can do this without copy pasting from your assignments.
So Sam, a bunch of my friends have a WhatsApp group for the module, and we often chat about our assignments, not plagiarizing, but is it okay to chat during the exam?
It is absolutely not okay to chat during the exam. The exam must be representative of your own thoughts and words. It's tempting, to utilize resources that may feel like they're gray area, but it's not gray area. That is a clear violation. The exam must be your own words, your own thoughts, and your own, blank Word Excel at the beginning of the exam. You cannot communicate with anybody else. You cannot get assistance. And here's the thing. If you plan on utilizing inappropriate resources during your training exams, what kind of CPA will you become? What kind of CPA are you training to be? You want to gain confidence that you are building the CPA professional career at day zero. And this is a CPA that you will evolve to be in. So not only is in exam writing, is it really imperative to demonstrate your own knowledge, but as part of our profession that relies on ethics, that relies on doing the right thing when nobody's looking, it's even that much more imperative.